You can access that feed on social media using the hashtag NABJFactCheck. Again, the hashtag is NABJFactCheck.
Child, you should have fact-checked those statements and all of those accusations you made about Donald J. Trump before you start throwing your shots, because you were all out of alignment and fakenews.com. But anyways, I digress. Let us hear what she has to say. The lady in blue.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
First of all, sister girl was late. They were 35 minutes late, you all. Trump, he shows up and it is game on, right? They're ready to attack. But you know, guess what? This is all as fair and love and war. So we're not going to even complain about that, because people going to do what they going to do, right? But I have to say, I feel like he was strong. He showed himself strong. And hey, he did a very good job. Hey, at least he showed up. Where was Kamala? Oh, I forgot. She couldn't make it, right? Because she was doing her rally with, you know, the tweak master, Megan Stallion. Anyways, y'all. So let me give you some side notes, some background information for those of you who didn't catch it live, okay? It was supposed to start at 1, but because Sister Girl was late, not Trump, Sister Girl was late, okay? Things happen, okay? How you gonna be late? This is an important interview, right? But you was late. And you is throwing all this shade at him. Y'all, it's going to even get better through the interview, because she going to be trying to rush him in. He going to be like, listen, you know how Trump is. You the one that showed up here late. Now you going to rush me? What kind of nonsense? And y'all, you're going to see throughout the interview, you all, that the technology is off. Everything is, you know, just half baked, half done. You know, you got the president coming in. Come on, have your stuff together. But I digress. Let's keep watching. You go see.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
he basically wanted to say you is rude, you is hateful, you is ungrateful, and you is unkind. Well, maybe that's what I wanted to say.
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and you know, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense.
So, you know, she didn't even show up. And let's just talk about that for a second. She was invited. They made all kinds of allocations for her, but for whatever reason, she was like, I'm booked, fully booked and scheduled. It's like, get somebody else to do it. You know, and when I think about get somebody else to do it, I think about this man right here. He like, look, I'm done. I'm out of here. In fact, every time I think about when I want to say get somebody else to do it, I think I'm going to use that picture.
Ball with him, I'ma have a ball with him. Somebody call Rihanna, I'm about to draw with him. He with the stage cause he in the wild women. Put the legs on his head, now he loves tall women. You will never catch me calling these men daddy. I ain't lying, grandma, just to make them happy.
What a wonderful political message to send to our young ladies. I'm a hot girl. I'm a hot girl. You can come and get it. I'm a hot girl. I just love that. Yeah, it is sending such a wonderful message to the youth. So yeah, basically back to the conversation at hand. Kamala said, I'm busy. I'm booked. I'm busy. Find somebody else to do it. And so they did. And then they mistreat him. And I can't have time to be coming to sit up there and talk to you all right now, okay? But Trump was under the impression they lied to him. They schemed, they scammed and got him on in there because they said that Kamala Harris was going to actually be there and they were going to do some type of interview style. It was going to be both of them. So they bamboozled, they tricked, they lied, and they got him on in there. And then they were so rude to him. Hello, he showed up. At least he's there. Meanwhile, you know, Miss Kamala Harris is over there tweaking it all the way up with Megan Thee Stallion, right? You know, so come on, give the brother some grace, all right? Brother man Trump, okay? Y'all, take a look at Miss Lady in Blue.
And then you said you can't do it with Zoom. Well, you know, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe
I have
that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the...
Somebody come and get Miss little Gabrielle Union mixed with Candace Owens up in here trying to... What you doing? What you doing? I know you've been practicing. I know you've been waiting your whole life for this very moment. But I'm going to need you to get it all the way together. She came for the wrong one. If you can't take the heat, then you ain't got no business being in the kitchen. So you can play all day. You got all your fiery, sassy questions. But when he throw that heat right back at you, you ain't ready. You be looking dazed and confused because Trump got all his cognitive senses, and even at 70-some years old, he is more intelligent and fierce than some of these babies out here trying to play Barbara Walters. Y'all, Miss Lady in Blue, you're going to have to learn what it means to be professional, to have integrity in your journalism. Yes, you can be stoic. Yes, you can be fierce, but please leave the rudeness, the unprofessionalism out of the equation. That is just, you're better than that, right? You can do better than that. You're a beautiful young lady and, you know, you're articulate. There's no reason for you to be nasty and rude, right? So nasty, so rude. It wasn't necessary. You're better than that. I want to see better.
Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace. Let me
just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define it?
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
Give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it.
Also, he knows that he's got her when he asks her, what's the definition? And she continues to give him the abbreviation. And he says, no. I want the definition for DEI. And she doubles down and she says, no. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And he's like, no. I need the definition. And she's like, it stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. But what does it mean? All right, for many of you, you might not know what it means because she clearly didn't, right? So I'm going to tell you, it's a term used to describe initiatives that aim to improve and maintain these values in organizations, particularly in educational settings and workplaces. DEI initiatives are based on the idea that supporting and recruiting employees from different backgrounds is essential to a company's success. They can include policies and programs that help employees feel welcome and equipped to perform their job well. So, for those of you out there who didn't know exactly what DEI stands for, because she never did tell us, well, you're welcome. Back to the show.
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think,
that
I think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I
Republicans
really
have
don't know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that
Well,
interview.
you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look,
Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You've said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me.
Now hold up and stop the press. You are not under a rock, Mr. Trump. Now I know there is a lot going on in your world, but you got people on your team that pay to know this kind of stuff to inform you. My goodness, you're going before the National Black Association of Journalists and nobody prepped you about. You possibly, very likely, are going to be asked about Sonia Massey. This is where we got a problem, Houston. Everybody knows about the Sonia Massey case. Nevertheless, he did say he knew about the case, but he didn't have all the details or the information. He goes on, and you'll hear him to say that it was wrong, very, 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 very wrong, right? And they're going to ask him about immunity. But I think this is where people get very confused about immunity, and they don't understand qualified immunity. And they think that immunity just grants them to get off of the hook. Not so. I want y'all to do your homework about qualified immunity, which really tackles the civil aspect, that you can't just go suing the cops for all of their family's money or whatever, but you could sue the city. It's a protection, but it's not a protection against criminal activity. That is not precedent. You have to really take a good look at it. I don't have time to dive into it, but qualified immunity, not just where you can go to, like Diddy went to the other island. He thought he could get away if he could get to that island and he would be safe, and they couldn't get to him because, he was out of jurisdiction. It's not like that. It's not like that. Let us continue to listen, though.
Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either.
Okay.
But again,
Are they going to be charging the officer? I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine an innocent mistake?
You go after somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous. And you know, they have, the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a, life and death decision. And sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're...
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. There is so much more to that interview, and I will put the link for the full video so you can watch it at your viewing pleasure, because let me tell you, it's so good, and they get into even more topics. So check it out for sure. Thank you all for watching. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because when you hit that bell, what it does is it tells you every time I upload content fresh and hot, and you're the first to receive that bell notification so you don't miss out on anything. All right, guys, I love you to life, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. God bless.